The courthouse stood tall in the middle of the city, gray and serious. People walked in and out every day, carrying worry, hope, and fear on their faces. On this morning, the courtroom on the third floor was already filling up. Wooden benches creaked as people sat down. A quiet tension floated in the air. At the front of the room sat the judge, a man with silver hair and a tired expression. He had seen many cases over the years. To him, most mornings felt the same. Near the defense table stood a teenage boy named Leo. He was 17 years old. He was tall for his age but thin, with narrow shoulders and calm eyes. His clothes were simple. A clean white shirt, dark pants, shoes that had seen many days. He did not look nervous, but he did not look proud either. He stood straight and silent. Beside him stood a public defender named Mr. Allen. He had a stack of papers in his hand and worry on his face. He had met Leo only 2 days earlier. Like many public defenders, he was overworked and tired. He had not expected much from this case. People in the courtroom glanced at Leo. Some whispered quietly, "That is the boy," someone murmured. "He looks too calm," another said. A woman in the front row crossed her arms and shook her head. The judge entered the room. Everyone stood up. "Court is now in session," the clerk announced. The judge sat down and adjusted his glasses. He opened the file in front of him and skimmed through the pages. His eyes moved quickly. Then he looked up at Leo. The judge let out a short laugh. It was not loud, but it was clear. "Well," the judge said, leaning back. "This looks like a simple case." Some people chuckled softly. Others stayed quiet. Leo did not react. His face stayed calm. His hands stayed still. The judge looked at the prosecutor, a confident man named Mr. Brown. "You may begin." Mr. Brown stood up and walked a step forward. "Your Honor, this case is straightforward. The defendant was found near the scene. A witness identified him. The report supports the charge." He spoke quickly and confidently. He did not look at Leo while speaking. The judge nodded. "Defense." Mr. Allen cleared his throat and stood. "Your Honor, the defense believes there are issues with the timeline and the witness account." The judge raised his hand. "Let us not waste time. We hear this every day." A few people in the room nodded in agreement. The judge looked directly at Leo. "Young man, do you understand why you are here today?" "Yes, Your Honor," Leo said. His voice was calm and clear. It carried through the room. The judge paused. He did not expect that tone. "Do you wish to say anything before we proceed?" Mr. Allen turned slightly toward Leo. He looked surprised. Leo had not told him he planned to speak. Leo took a breath. "Yes, Your Honor. With your permission, I would like to address the court." A small smile appeared on the judge's face. "This should be interesting. Go ahead." A few people leaned forward. Others looked away, already bored. Leo stepped forward slowly. He did not rush. He stood straight. "Your Honor," Leo said, "I understand the seriousness of this courtroom and the responsibility of this moment. I also understand that the court values truth and accuracy above assumption." The room grew quieter. Leo continued. "The charge against me relies heavily on a witness statement taken several hours after the event. Studies and court precedent have shown that delayed statements can affect accuracy." The judge's smile faded slightly. "The report states that I was near the scene," Leo said. "However, proximity does not establish involvement. There is no physical evidence linking me to the action described." Mr. Brown frowned. Leo spoke slowly, clearly, and with confidence. "The timeline presented does not account for confirmed records that place me elsewhere during the stated time." The courtroom was silent now. Mr. Allen stared at Leo. He had never heard a teenager speak like this in court. The judge leaned forward. "Where did you learn to speak this way?" Leo did not hesitate. From reading legal cases, Your Honor. A quiet murmur spread through the room. You read legal cases? The judge asked. Yes, Your Honor, Leo said. I have studied court decisions and trial records for several years. The judge closed the file slowly. His expression had changed. Mr. Brown stepped forward. Your Honor, this is highly unusual. Indeed, the judge said, without looking at him. Leo continued. I ask only that this court evaluate the evidence based on facts, not expectation. The judge looked at Leo closely now. Not as a case. As a person. How long have you been studying law? The judge asked. Since I was 13, Leo replied. The courtroom reacted. Some gasped softly. Others whispered again. The judge removed his glasses. Why? Leo paused. Because I saw people treated unfairly. I wanted to understand why. Silence followed his words. The judge leaned back, thoughtful. Mr. Brown, we will review this case more carefully. Mr. Brown looked frustrated but nodded. The judge turned to Mr. Allen. Counselor, your client is unusual. Mr. Allen nodded slowly. Yes, Your Honor. I see that now. The judge looked back at Leo. Young man, this court will allow additional review. Leo nodded respectfully. Thank you, Your Honor. The judge struck his gavel lightly. Court will take a short recess. People stood up, buzzing with whispers. Did you hear him speak? That boy sounded like a lawyer. No, better than that. Leo stepped back beside Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen leaned toward him and whispered, Why did you not tell me? Leo answered quietly, You did not ask. Mr. Allen smiled faintly, still shocked. Across the room, Mr. Brown stared at Leo with narrowed eyes. The judge remained seated for a moment after everyone stood. He looked at the file again. Then he looked at Leo. The laughter from earlier felt distant now. Something in that courtroom had shifted. And this was only the beginning. When the recess ended, people returned to their seats with a different energy. At first, they had come to watch a routine case. Now they came to watch a mystery. Leo sat beside Mr. Allen at the defense table. Mr. Allen kept looking at him like he was trying to solve a puzzle. Leo sat quietly, hands folded, eyes steady. He did not look proud. He looked focused. Across the aisle, Mr. Brown spoke with a young assistant. Both of them kept glancing toward Leo. The assistant looked nervous. Mr. Brown looked annoyed. The judge returned and sat down. This time, he did not laugh. His face was serious. He looked at the prosecutor, then at the defense. Mr. Brown, the judge said, I want clarity. Present your evidence in a clean and organized way. We will take this step by step. Mr. Brown stood. Yes, Your Honor. He turned toward the jury box, though there was no jury today. It was a hearing, not a full trial. Still, he spoke like an audience was watching. The defendant was seen near the location at the time of the incident, Mr. Brown said. A witness identified him. A report confirms an item was missing. That is our case. The judge nodded slowly. Call your witness. A woman walked to the front. Her name was Mia. She looked around 30, with a tight face and tense shoulders. She held her hands together like she wanted to hide them. The clerk had her sworn in. Mia sat in the witness chair, eyes fixed forward. Mr. Brown began gently. Mia, where were you on the evening in question? At the bus stop, she said. And what did you see? Mia swallowed. I saw a boy running. I saw him near the place. He looked like him. She pointed toward Leo. Leo did not move. He simply watched her. Mr. Brown nodded. How sure are you? Mia hesitated. Pretty sure. Mr. Brown walked a step closer. Was the area well lit? There were streetlights, she said. How far away were you? I do not know, she said quickly. Not too far. Mr. Brown smiled slightly, like the answer was enough. Thank you. No further questions. He sat down. The courtroom stayed quiet for a moment. The judge looked toward the defense table. Mr. Allen, you may cross-examine. Mr. Allen stood, then paused. He looked at Leo. Leo gave a small nod, like he was offering him a plan. Mr. Allen cleared his throat. Mia, you said you were at the bus stop. Yes. Do you remember the exact time? Mia frowned. Around 9. Around 9, Mr. Allen repeated. Did you check a clock? Mia shifted in her chair. No. Mr. Allen started to ask another question, but Leo quietly raised one finger. Mr. Allen noticed and stopped. He looked down, then back up, and tried to follow Leo's silent direction. Mia, Mr. Allen said, when you gave your statement, did you mention what the boy was wearing? Mia blinked. I think so. Mr. Allen held up a paper. Your statement says the boy wore a red hoodie. Mia nodded. Yes. Mr. Allen looked toward Leo. Leo was wearing a plain white shirt today, but that did not matter. What mattered was the past. Mr. Allen continued. Did you see the boy's face clearly? Mia's voice got quieter. Not clearly. I saw his shape. His hair. Mr. Allen nodded. So you saw a red hoodie, a running figure, and a general look. Mia pressed her lips together. Yes. Mr. Allen paused again, unsure how to push further. Leo leaned toward him and whispered something so softly that only Mr. Allen could hear. Mr. Allen's eyes widened. He turned back to the witness. Mia, do you wear glasses? Mia looked confused. Sometimes. Were you wearing them that night? Mia hesitated. No. Mr. Brown quickly stood. Objection. Relevance. The judge lifted his hand. Overruled. Answer the question. Mia's cheeks flushed. No, I was not wearing them. Mr. Allen nodded slowly. So at night, without glasses, you saw a running figure under streetlights and assumed it was Leo. Mia's face tightened. I did not assume. I recognized him. Mr. Allen held the paper again. Your statement also says you were scared and shaken. Mia looked down. Yes. Did someone speak with you before you gave your statement? Mia's eyes flicked toward Mr. Brown for a split second. A police officer asked me questions. Mr. Allen kept his voice calm. Did the officer suggest who the suspect might be? Mr. Brown stood again. Objection. The judge looked at Mia, then at Mr. Allen. She can answer. Mia swallowed hard. He asked me if it was the boy they had stopped nearby. The room changed. People shifted in their seats. Mr. Allen nodded. So you were asked about a specific boy, and then you made your statement. Mia's voice became defensive. I still believe it was him. Mr. Allen stepped back. No more questions. He sat down quickly, like he was afraid to ruin what he had gained. The judge made a note. Mr. Brown looked irritated. Then the judge looked at Leo. Young man, you requested to address the court. Do you still wish to do so? Mr. Allen started to stand, but Leo stood first. The movement was calm and respectful. Yes, Your Honor, Leo said. The judge nodded. Proceed. Leo stepped forward. He did not face the witness like he wanted to attack her. He faced her like he wanted to understand. Mia, Leo said gently, I have one question. Mr. Brown stepped forward again. Your Honor, this is not proper. The judge raised a hand. I will allow a limited question. 1. Keep it focused. Leo nodded. Thank you. He looked back at Mia. Mia, when you saw the boy running, did you notice anything unique? A limp, a backpack, a logo, anything specific? Mia thought hard. I saw the hoodie. I saw him running fast. Leo nodded. So nothing unique. Mia shook her head. Leo turned to the judge. Your Honor, I would like to submit a simple fact. The judge's brow lifted. Go on. Leo kept his voice steady. I do not own a red hoodie. I have never owned one. My school has a uniform, and my jacket is black. My neighbor can confirm that I left home wearing black that evening. Also, there is a camera outside the corner store near my street. It faces the sidewalk. That footage would show what I wore when I walked past. Mr. Allen's mouth opened slightly. He had not known about that camera. Mr. Brown stood sharply. Your Honor, the defense did not request that footage. Leo turned his head slightly, still polite. That is correct. The defense was appointed recently. The judge's face tightened. Mr. Brown, did the state request that footage? Mr. Brown hesitated. No, Your Honor. The judge tapped his pen on the bench. Why not? Mr. Brown looked uncomfortable. We did not believe it was necessary. The judge looked at him for a long moment. Then he looked at Mr. Allen. Counsel, you will request the footage today. Mr. Allen nodded quickly. Yes, Your Honor. Leo continued, still calm. Also, Your Honor, I would like to address the timeline. The judge leaned forward again. Proceed. Leo spoke like he had built a map in his mind. The report states the incident happened at 9. The witness said around 9. The statement was taken after midnight. That is a wide range. Now, I have a bus receipt from 8:41. The bus route ends near my neighborhood. It places me traveling away from the location. Mr. Brown's assistant leaned in and whispered something to him. Mr. Brown's jaw tightened. The judge held up a hand. Do you have that receipt? Mr. Allen looked startled. Leo reached into a folder and handed it to him. Mr. Allen walked it forward. The judge studied it. The room was fully silent now, like even breathing felt loud. The judge set the receipt down and looked at Mr. Brown. This changes things. Mr. Brown spoke carefully. Your Honor, it may not be conclusive. The judge nodded. It may not. But it creates doubt, and doubt requires work. The judge turned back to Leo. Young man, you present like someone trained. Leo's face stayed steady. I am not trained in the official way, Your Honor. I study. The judge asked, why do you study so seriously? Leo took a breath. Because in my neighborhood, people believe the system is not for them. I wanted to know if that was true. I wanted to know how the rules really work. The judge's eyes softened slightly, but he stayed professional. And where did you find legal materials? Leo answered simply. The library. Old books. Online case summaries. Free public records. Mr. Allen looked at him with a mix of respect and regret. He felt guilty that he had not prepared better. He had assumed Leo would be quiet and scared. He had been wrong. The judge leaned back and made a decision. This hearing will not end today. A wave of whispers passed through the room. The judge continued, I want the store camera footage. I also want confirmation of the bus receipt and route data. I want the witness statement procedure reviewed, including whether suggestions were made. Mr. Brown looked unhappy. Your Honor, the state will comply. The judge nodded. Good. Then the judge added something that made the whole room stiffen again. And I want to know why the defendant is able to present these facts more clearly than his appointed counsel. Mr. Allen lowered his eyes. He knew it was not meant as an insult. It was a warning. The judge was saying the case was not being handled with enough care. Mr. Allen stood. Your Honor, I accept responsibility. I will do better. The judge nodded once. Then he looked at Leo again. Leo, the judge said, using his name for the first time, You have shown skill. But skill alone does not explain your confidence. Leo stayed quiet. The judge's voice became firm. Someone helped you. Or someone inspired you. I want to know who, because this court needs to understand the full picture. Leo's eyes flickered for the first time. Not fear, but something deeper. A memory. He hesitated, then spoke slowly. Your Honor, there was someone. The courtroom leaned in. Leo said, he was not famous. He was not rich. But he taught me how to think. He taught me how to read law like it is a language. Mr. Brown watched closely. The judge asked, who was he? Leo looked down for a moment, then back up. His name was Mr. Harris. A strange silence followed, as if that name carried weight. The judge's face changed. Just slightly. Enough that Mr. Allen noticed. Mr. Allen whispered to himself. Why does that name matter? The judge stared at Leo, thoughtful, then spoke in a lower tone. Leo, the judge said, where is Mr. Harris now? Leo's voice became quiet. I do not know, Your Honor. He disappeared. The room froze again. The judge's hand tightened on his pen. Disappeared. Leo nodded once. One day he was there. The next day he was gone. No one explained it. Mr. Brown shifted. His assistant looked nervous again. The judge struck his gavel softly. We will continue this matter in 48 hours. Until then, I am ordering a deeper review of the evidence and the procedure used in this case. He looked at Leo. And I want more information about Mr. Harris. Leo nodded respectfully. Yes, Your Honor. People stood as the judge left. This time, no one laughed. No one smirked. They had walked in expecting a simple story. Now they were watching something bigger, something that felt like it was pulling hidden strings. And Leo, the quiet teen in the plain shirt, was standing in the middle of it, calm as ever. 2 days later, the same courtroom felt different. It was the same wooden benches, the same high ceiling, the same flag behind the judge's chair. But the people inside carried a new kind of curiosity. Word had spread. A teenager had spoken like a trained attorney. A judge who had laughed had become silent. A case that looked simple had become complicated. Leo arrived early with Mr. Allen. This time Mr. Allen carried a bigger folder, filled with printed reports, notes, and copies. His face looked sharper, more awake. He had spent the last 48 hours working hard. He had requested the store camera footage. He had contacted the bus company. He had looked into the witness statement process. He had even searched for information about Mr. Harris. Leo walked beside him without speaking much. He looked calm like before, but something in his eyes was heavier. The name Mr. Harris had opened an old door inside him. They reached the courtroom. Mr. Brown was already there with his assistant. The assistant kept checking a phone and whispering. Mr. Brown's face was tight. He did not look confident anymore. The judge entered. Everyone stood. Court is now in session, the clerk said. The judge sat down and looked around the room. His eyes went first to Mr. Allen's folder, then to Leo, then to Mr. Brown. We will continue, the judge said. Mr. Allen, you requested evidence. Present what you have. Mr. Allen stood. His hands were steady now. Yes, Your Honor. We have several items. He held up a flash drive. First, the store camera footage from the corner store near Leo's Street. The clerk took it and handed it to the court officer. The video was played on a screen visible to the courtroom. The footage showed a sidewalk at night. It showed people walking. Cars passed. The timestamp moved. Then Leo appeared. He walked past the store at 8:33. He was wearing a black jacket. No red hoodie. No bright clothing. Just black. The courtroom made soft sounds of surprise. Some people leaned closer as if their eyes could change what they were seeing. Mr. Allen paused the video and turned to the judge. Your Honor, this places Leo leaving his neighborhood at 8:33 wearing black. The witness described a red hoodie. Mr. Brown stood quickly. Your Honor, the witness said she saw a boy running. Clothing can be mistaken. The judge raised a hand. Sit for a moment, Mr. Brown. Let the defense finish. Mr. Allen nodded. Next, we have bus route confirmation. He held up a paper. The bus company confirmed that the receipt Leo provided matches a ride at 8:41, traveling away from the incident location. The judge studied the paper. Mr. Allen continued. Also, we have route timing. Based on the bus schedule, the earliest possible arrival near the incident location would be after 9:15. That means Leo could not be at the place at 9 o'clock as claimed. A deeper silence filled the room. It was the kind of silence that comes when people realize they may have been wrong. The judge looked toward Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, how does the state respond? Mr. Brown stood slowly. His voice was careful. Your Honor, the state acknowledges these documents. We request time to adjust our position. The judge's eyes narrowed. Adjust your position? Mr. Brown swallowed. Yes, Your Honor. We may need to reconsider the strength of the identification. The judge looked down at the file, then up again. So the state moved forward without verifying the store camera and bus data? Mr. Brown stiffened. Your Honor, we believed the witness was reliable. The judge's tone became firm. Belief is not a substitute for verification. Mr. Allen spoke next. Your Honor, there is one more important issue. The witness statement process. He turned to Mia, who was seated in the back now. Mia stated she was asked if it was the boy police had already stopped. That can create a suggestion. Mr. Brown raised his hand. Your Honor, officers must act quickly. The judge nodded once. They can act quickly and still act correctly. The judge took a breath and looked at Mia. Mia, please stand. Mia stood, nervous. The judge asked, when you gave your statement, did you feel pressure to agree? Mia's eyes filled slightly. She looked around the room, then nodded. A little. Mr. Brown's face changed. The judge asked again, did the officer show you a picture? Mia hesitated. He showed me a photo on his phone. Mr. Allen's eyebrows lifted. He had not known that part. The judge's voice became sharp. A photo before a formal process? Mia nodded. Yes. A wave of reaction moved through the room. Even people who knew nothing about law could feel something was wrong. Mr. Brown spoke quickly. Your Honor, if that occurred, it was not directed by the prosecution. The judge looked at him. But it impacts the case. Mr. Brown lowered his eyes. Yes, Your Honor. The judge wrote something down, then looked at Leo. Young man, based on this information, it appears you were wrongly placed into this process. Leo stayed respectful. Yes, Your Honor. The judge leaned forward. However, there is still one matter this court requested. Mr. Harris. The room shifted again. The name carried weight. The judge looked at Leo. You said he disappeared. The court needs context. Leo nodded. He did not look excited to speak about it. He looked like someone touching an old bruise. Your Honor, Leo began. Mr. Harris lived in our building. He was older, quiet. He worked nights at a printing shop. He was not a lawyer, but he knew the law. The judge watched carefully. Leo continued. He saw how people in our area got treated. He told me that knowing the rules could protect you. Not always, but sometimes. Mr. Allen listened closely. He had searched the name, but there were too many people with it. Still, something felt familiar. Leo said, he taught me how to read cases, how to find the main issue, how to separate emotion from facts. He said judges respect clarity. The judge's face softened slightly. Leo added, I was a kid, Your Honor. I had no money, no connections. But he would sit with me and explain words. He would tell me to practice speaking so I would not feel small in front of powerful people. The courtroom was quiet. Even Mr. Brown looked less sharp, more thoughtful. The judge asked, when did he disappear? Leo answered, about 1 year ago. Mr. Allen shifted. He remembered reading something in a local news summary. Not a big story. Just a small piece about a man who left suddenly after reporting something at his job. The judge looked down for a moment, then back up. Did he ever tell you why he knew so much? Leo hesitated. He told me he used to study law when he was younger. He said life changed his path. The judge nodded slowly, like he understood that. Then the judge asked something that surprised everyone. Leo, did Mr. Harris ever mention this courthouse? Leo's eyes widened slightly. Yes, Your Honor. The judge's voice stayed calm but focused. What did he say? Leo swallowed. He said he once stood in this courtroom. Not as a judge. Not as a lawyer. But as someone being judged. The room went still. Mr. Allen felt chills. Mr. Brown stopped moving. The judge's hands rested on the bench. His face looked far away for a second, as if he was remembering something too. The judge asked, did he tell you the case name? Leo nodded. He said the case was about a mistake that ruined his future. Mr. Allen spoke carefully. Your Honor, may I add something? The judge looked at him. Go ahead. Mr. Allen held up a printed page. I searched court records. I found a case from years ago with a defendant named Harris. The details match what Leo described. The defendant was later cleared, but it happened too late. The courtroom reacted softly. Mr. Brown looked uneasy. Your Honor, is this relevant to the current case? The judge answered, it is relevant because it shows a pattern. A person was wrongly accused. Cleared later. The damage remained. Now we may be seeing a similar path with this young man. Mr. Brown's face tightened. He did not argue. The judge looked at Leo again. Leo, you have done what many adults fail to do. You stayed calm, you stayed clear, and you demanded facts. Leo nodded, quiet. The judge turned to Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, based on the evidence, what is the state's position? Mr. Brown took a deep breath. He looked at his assistant, then back at the judge. Your Honor, he said slowly, the state moves to dismiss the charges. The courtroom exploded into whispers. Some people covered their mouths. Some shook their heads, shocked. Mia looked like she might cry from relief and guilt at the same time. The judge lifted his hand, and the room quieted. Motion accepted, the judge said. He struck the gavel once. Leo stood still for a moment. The words felt heavy. He was free, but he had been forced to fight to prove it. Mr. Allen turned to him. Leo, you are going home. Leo nodded, but his eyes did not brighten the way people expected. He looked thoughtful, almost tired. The judge looked at Leo again. Young man, before you go, I have one more thing to say. Leo faced him respectfully. The judge's voice softened. This court owes you an apology. My laughter was wrong. I judged you before hearing you. Leo stayed calm. Thank you, Your Honor. The judge continued. And I will also say this. You have a gift. Not just for speaking, but for thinking. Leo did not smile. He simply listened. The judge added, if you choose this path, you should be supported, not dismissed. There are programs and scholarships. There are people who can guide you. Mr. Allen looked surprised. Mr. Brown looked down, quiet. Leo finally spoke. Your Honor, I do not want power. I want fairness. The judge nodded slowly. That is the right reason. Then the judge looked at Mr. Allen. "Counsel, I expect you to follow through and help him connect with opportunities." Mr. Allen stood. "Yes, Your Honor. I will." The judge looked at the clerk. "Also, I want an official review of the identification process used here. A photo on a phone is not acceptable." The clerk nodded. The judge struck the gavel again. "Court is adjourned." People stood up. The courtroom buzzed like a shaken hive. Some wanted to approach Leo. Some wanted to ask questions. Some wanted to pretend they had always believed him. Leo walked out with Mr. Allen. The hallway outside felt brighter, even though the lights were the same. Leo took a slow breath, like someone stepping out of deep water. Mr. Allen spoke quietly. "Why did you stay so calm in there?" Leo looked ahead. "Because I remembered Mr. Harris. He told me fear makes you sound weak, even when you are right. He told me to speak like truth matters." Mr. Allen nodded. He was right. They reached the courthouse doors. Cold air hit Leo's face. He paused for a moment and looked back at the building. He did not look angry. He did not look proud. He looked determined. Not to win. Not to show off. But to make sure no one else would be laughed at before they were heard.